This conversation is inspired by the afternoon show.
That's right. But also by the fact that some people are in the diaspora and we're trying to get a message out that is coherent, and how do we build these communities.
Yes.
Yeah, so good evening, Wellington, Mzengeza, and Miranda.
So I'm just, the title is Diaspora, a Curse or Brain Trust. So
That's right.
role is an area that is contested and requires debate. Where is wisdom and understanding to be found? Is the voice of the people in the diaspora coherent? If not, what is to be done? All right. It seems that the Zimbabwean diaspora is quite active on social media platforms, and their sentiments, especially from the last show, that seems to claim that diasporans who are practicing on this.
Hello. Hello. So good evening again. Mr. Mzengeza, who is hosting the show, is unfortunately dropped out, and I'm not sure what the reason is, but this is the topic, the diaspora, a brain trust or a case. Is it a threat to the local system? If so, how best do we negotiate something that unites the diaspora? And Eustace Kanyemba says it's a promise. How so, Eustace? Can you speak to that? Why do you call it a promise? Peter Makaza, good job. Mr. Mawere, thank you. And I hope we can work together, Peter, so that tomorrow it's not just one person hosting these shows. It requires other people. It requires provoking conversations. It requires changing perspectives, changing minds. There are people who look at the people in the diaspora as those who ran away, the prodigal children. Why should the prodigal children be noisy? Why leave home and go so far to make a lot of noise that is not organized, that is not structured? Why this divisive tendency? People go to certain distant shores. They don't build any community there, but they want to prescribe how Zimbabwe should be organized and what should be done at the places they left. If they love Zimbabwe so much, why leave Zimbabwe only to arrive and still not display the maturity that is required to have arrived? That's what some people are saying. What is the role of the diaspora to you? Do you think the diaspora is a promise? If so, in what way? Eustace says it's a promise. So let's talk to that. Why is it a promise to you when other people say foreigners are the ones who are messing up the Zim ecosystem? It's a long story, Eustace. Why is it a long story? There is no long story. That's a short story, Eustace. Make it short, make it understandable, simple. Why do you say it's a long story when you put it as a promise? Why not speak to the aspects of a promise? What is a promise? What is required to build sustainable institutions at home? Do we need Twitter? Do we need social media? When people come on social media, people are followed. But on the ground, there is no social media influence. So what is it that needs to be done, Eustace? Who is to lead if leading is what is missing? So, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Maurer.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Not too bad. So the topic is ambush. We ambushed you.
No, it's okay. You know we're family, so it's fine.
So we are talking about, you know what the diaspora is? What is the diaspora to you?
To me, in this context, like the African diaspora, I'll just make an example with regards to what we used to talk about earlier. I'll
Okay.
first start by, I don't know if maybe it will be answering the question, by the manner in which we use the word in context form. When we talk of the African diaspora, I feel like when a person uses it, they're talking in an essence of what is happening within our continent. But now the thing is, what is a diaspora according to one's understanding? That's what I'm still seeking. Because for me, I can answer, but what is explained versus what is done, these are two different things. And that's where I feel I need clarity on, and I would like to pick other people's brains so that we can perhaps educate one another.
So, what is the meaning of diaspora?
The meaning of diaspora, I'm looking it up and I want to do it, or rather say it as per what Google says, and then we'll take it from there.
That's what I'm
It
also,
is the,
I'm also borrowing from. So let's get some more voices. We got Chimeza, we got Wellington, and maybe we start with Chimeza, who is in Sweden. What is the diaspora?
the in a diaspora.
Yeah. And what Chimeza, what does it mean to you to be defined or labeled
As
as that?
you live in another country or outside your place.
Yeah, I suppose it takes different
Outside your birth country.
when you use it in what context you are using it in. I think it's got a different meaning in whatever context you are using it in. As to say, where my friend wants to go, my sister wants to go with it, perhaps, is to say, we take it back to the
I can't
Jews.
hear
You like to
any
use the
audio.
reference of the Jews. As to say, perhaps the Jews are the first diaspora we can really speak of. After the fall of their civilization, due to Rome. So perhaps we can say that's where we might take the term diaspora as a scattered nation. It's a people who are scattered amongst the nations and not at home, not in one location, but still identify with perhaps nationhood, perhaps a certain culture, a language, whatever it is that may unite those people, and they are not together by virtue of whatever circumstances. That to me is diaspora, dispersed.
Okay, here is defined as the term diaspora comes from the Greek verb diaspora,
I see the comment.
meaning to scatter and to spread about. At first used in ancient Greece, diaspora referred to people of dominant countries who voluntarily emigrated from their homeland, colonized, conquered countries. Today, scholars recognize two kinds of diaspora: forced and voluntary.
They were forced, and who is emigrated from their homelands to colonized, conquered countries. Today, scholars recognize two kinds of diaspora. Forced. Oh, so there's forced, where you were sent to another country for whatever reason. You were forced. There's colony, hence there's apartheid, segregation, and then there's voluntary. So there's two meanings: the one that volunteers and takes the conscious decision of leaving, and the one, okay.
But also it means the people who have left countries where they see no future. Where their lives are under threat. They then leave and go to another area for safety or for greener pastures.
Understandable. It explains quite a number of things I was having questions on. Okay.
So if you look at life without crossing the border, there's somebody who is playing music. So, hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think now it's okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. So we are looking.
Yes,
We are looking
yeah,
at,
you as well.
hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So Chimeza, do you agree with that definition?
Absolutely, yes, I do.
Okay, Wellington, do you agree with that definition?
Yes,
Wellington?
definitely.
All right. So the three of us are members of C2C. So the only one who's in the diaspora is who? For now.
Good question. Who is you? I'm kidding. But Mr. Mawere, I remember what you
Chimeza is the only one who doesn't belong. Now,
True, in this context, yes. When you simplify it, when you put it in layman's term, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
now have General Kanyemba. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mawere. How are you doing?
How are you? How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you. Hello,
All right.
brother. Hello, everybody on the panel.
Hello. Welcome. Pleased to engage with you.
How are you, General?
I'm all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm not
So,
yet.
what do you think about the title of today? Is it of interest to you?
It is of interest, and it's an interesting title, especially that diaspora promise or threat. I think and I agree that diaspora, especially the African community, is a promise to Africa, given everything that is going on with the world and how things are shifting. Only people who are probably outside their countries will probably understand what will need to be done to move those countries forward in a positive way. Yes, please.
So you are of the view that the diaspora can be a positive factor.
Not can be, it is a positive factor. We have to look at a lot of things that most diasporans have done for their countries. The Sudanese diasporans, Eritreans, Zimbabweans, over things when relations were strained, no US dollar. It is these diasporans who were sending money back home, helping families, helping a little economy that was there to even sustain. So we should not start to say we are talking of any nations, excluding these diasporas who have, even in the first place, have kept those nations sustained to ever achieve anything we might want. So the diasporas have been important.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zimbabwe.
All right. How did you come to South Africa? What provoked you to leave Zimbabwe?
Well, Mr. Mawere, it's a long story. A lot of people are different. There are some people who came
No,
economically,
I'm talking to you, not to people. I want you just to download, to share your experience, your journey to South Africa.
I will answer you this, but Mr. Wary, trust me, you're a grown-up man with intelligence. These are not platforms where we should expose some of our private lives. You of all know the South African government will not even allow us to just to talk how we came, what we told them. Come on, say these things. I would like to talk.
Well, if you can't say, just say I can't say. Then we go to somebody else. We want. I came in by choice. I have nothing to hide. So I'm in South Africa, citizen of South Africa, and I acquired naturalized in South Africa. So I have nothing to hide. So it's not a sin. If you can't say so, that's fine. Then we go to somebody who is in Sweden. Chimeza, how did you get to Sweden?
Well, I had been living in the United Kingdom. That's where I met my missus. I stayed there for about 10 years. And then there was that scenario where things seemed like as if they are looking good to Zimbabwe. It's one of the reasons I decided to go. Also, personal circumstances. My mother was ill at the time, and then she ended up passing away. I then had to move back to Zimbabwe to try and sort out things with the family, assets, debts, all this stuff, because I've got siblings, two sisters and one brother. So I sold our property, made sure that each and everybody got a fair share, 50% each. And then they bought their own properties. I bought my little flat with fields. And then my daughter was born in Zimbabwe, but she had reached that time where we need to start taking her to school. And I thought the situation here in Zimbabwe, honestly, I think I can provide better for my daughter and for my family outside of Zimbabwe. The plan initially was to go back to the UK, but my missus, she's got family here in Sweden. So when I moved them from Zimbabwe here to Europe, I moved them to Sweden. I stayed in Zimbabwe another 6 months just to try and sort out the flats and issues and paperwork, capital gains taxes, all this stuff. A lot of corruption that I had to face in Zimbabwe just to try and buy a flat, just to try and pay bills, water bills, electricity bills. You have to bribe a lot of people, all that stuff. So it was the economic environment that was not conducive for me as a Zimbabwean to say the kind of life that I had been living in United Kingdom for the last 10 years, even though I had stayed in Zimbabwe for 5 years, but now that I've got a daughter, I wanted to experience that life, the good life that I had perhaps growing up in Zimbabwe, a semblance of it. Because when I was growing up in Zimbabwe in primary school, things were not so bad. Like, Taiwan Mukaka from Chikoro and Mabanzi from Chikoro. I remember, Chimombe, this, that's the Zimbabwe I grew up in, with even milk, I remember. Quite a Papa milk when milk used to be in bottles. Yeah? Milk used to be in bottles, and YCF 50s like your coin. Pamtoro pe mkaka. And what I'm kagwato, it was just beautiful. That's the Zimbabwe I remember. So it's economic reasons that I left Zimbabwe first and foremost when I was 18, 19 years old to go to the United Kingdom. It was for greener pastures. And then when I came back to Zimbabwe, after having my child in Zimbabwe, it was also for greener pastures that I left to come to Europe. I decided to stay in Sweden because the education system here is one of the best in the world. The healthcare system here is one of the best in the world. It's very progressive. I had to learn the language. Now, you can practice French, to be over. We can practice to someone in farm May, So it's opportunities to grow. And that is why I left Zimbabwe, to grow. Thank you.
Okay, no, that's a good story. And when you look at Sweden, do you have any Zimbabwean community that you are working to build, or that you are aware of, or you are all scattered around?
We are pretty much scattered. The location I'm in, it's pretty affluent. As to say, most Zimbabweans, you find them. Where's that place in Uppsala, and it's near Stockholm. And with me, it's a situation of family ties. So I didn't come here for education. I'm like married to an EU citizen. So it's a different setup that I get to enjoy from other Zimbabweans. But I've got a few Zimbabweans that we do speak online. I know the Manlakas. He's got his traditional dance group that he's got here in Zimbabwe. That is got here in Sweden. It's a mixed group, Swedish people and mostly Zimbabwean people. It's cultural. They do cultural things, So I do support that from time to time when I can. When I have time to go now, that type of scenario. But is to say, are we doing anything beyond that with other Zimbabweans here? No, I'm not in touch with Zimbabweans here. Most Zimbabweans that I'm in touch with are actually in the United Kingdom. That's where my cousins are, and that's where most people I know. Here is a very small community of Zimbabweans. I've never actually, I only met one Zimbabwean in the 5 years that I've been here, physically.
All right.
Yeah.
And your missus, how is she in terms of Zimbabwe? Is she interested in what's going on in Zimbabwe? All right.
I'm here. I'm here. Me personally, I love Zimbabwe, and my mission is to go back there with my daughter. But you know, as the situation is right now, and she's already in school, she just started 3rd grade, and she's doing well in her school. So for me now to give up everything and go back to Zimbabwe, it's a kind of a no-no. Even though I love Zimbabwe, I lived there for almost 5 years. It's the most beautiful place I ever lived in, and the people are the most loving I've ever met in my entire life. So it's a shame, you know. It's really a shame. And my husband, you know, he wants to go back, and that means we have to be apart. But if it be so,
All
it be
right.
so.
Has he told you about the C2C initiative?
I haven't. C2C, I don't think I've heard about that one. No, so not so much. No.
Okay, we have an initiative to convert connections to communities
Okay.
in this digital age. The
Uh-huh.
idea is now we know your husband, now we know you.
Yeah, you know me.
And
Goody
next
boy, eh?
time you visit Africa, you know you got
I grew up in Africa my whole life. I lived in Tanzania for 10 years. I lived in Kenya for 4 years. I lived in Uganda for 2 years. So me, I know Africa. I'm as African almost as well. Besides my skin color, but
that's good. So you are one of us.
I am.
So,
And I
we are saying
I follow with my husband what's going on, and I'm very aware of the situation right now, what's happening, and I just think all I want to say is it's a shame what's going on. Zimbabwe is the most beautiful country I've ever been to.
that's right. So what we are looking for is to connect each other.
Okay.
And be able to build a community of shared interest.
Yeah.
Because there are things that we can change. There are things that we can't change.
Yeah.
So while I'm sitting on my computer, I can talk about Zimbabwe, but I'm not going to change anything except maybe sending money to relatives. But in terms of public policy, in terms of influencing what can happen,
yeah.
And you represent the ideal that you don't have to be black to be married to another black.
Well, our daughter is Zimbabwe. She's born in Zimbabwe, and on her passport it says Zimbabwean. So
that's right. So that is
in my passport. I have a stamp that I'm married, so I have entry. No problem.
That's the story we want to hear.
Yeah. But, where are you? I just ask, where are you?
I'm in South Africa.
Oh, you in South Africa? Okay.
Yeah. So otherwise, we are not hearing those stories. Imagine we are just two black people. So I wanted to talk to you so that we can say 20% or a quarter.
100%. 100%. No, with you. No,
you are.
It's also in Zimbabwe, you know. I see my future building a house in Zimbabwe, growing some vegetables, you know, growing my little herb garden with my oregano and thyme and rosemary and flowers. And
so that's what we are looking for.
Yeah.
While you are where you are, it's important that we help.
Even though this is where my mother comes from, I don't want to be here. I don't like it here. The pressure from European society is too much. It's not nice here.
You know what?
You know, here it might be comfortable, like money wise, and you know, you have support from the government, and you can get money, and you can get a job, and the shops are full with everything you need. But at the end of the day, there's no love from the people. You don't know your neighbors. You can never go to your neighbor and ask, oh, can I borrow some cooking oil? Or do you have a cup of sugar for me? You can never do that here. I don't even know my neighbors. I've lived in this apartment, right, for 5 years. I don't know the name of my neighbor who lives like 1 meter away from me. We don't even say hi when we see each other in the corridor, like nothing. And I don't like that. In Zimbabwe, when I was there, I could, even if there was no Zesa, I would just go sit on the doorstep outside. You talk to people. You're bored, you just go sit under a tree. You talk to people, blah, blah, blah. How are you, Maya? Moody say, you know? But here, there's nothing like that. And that's what I miss the most. And for me, love is more important than money.
So thank you very much. Now there are two
humanity.
women in this group. We want to talk to each other. There's one in South Africa and
Yeah. Hello, baby. How are you? I'm listening to you. Wow, I'm listening to you. And Mr. Mauro asked me a question when we started the stream, that what my understanding, with regards to diaspora is. And the gentleman came in, your husband, and explained. And one thing that I said was everything in every term generally is subjective. For instance, you were speaking about the fact that the European culture does not embrace, in a sense, I don't know, I can't say humanity, but it's very, I think for me, type of vibe. Like, let's just be that. And with Africa, there's a saying in Swati, "Umunvu ngumunvu ngebantu," meaning I am because of you. You know what I mean? And a child is raised by a village. So in this context, does it even apply in the current way of living? So for me, thank you, Mr. Mauro, for this, because I wanted to understand, because I've never moved and lived outside South Africa. I've traveled, I've went to other countries. I've went to the Kingdom of Eswatini, I've went to Mozambique, I've explored other countries, and I want to explore more. And the only way I'm exploring Africa now, I'm doing my postgrad in Zambia through UNICEF University. So it is because with the aim of wanting after 3 years to go there and graduate in Zambia and be part of an alumni that connects different people within that cause. That for me, it meant something. And I was inspired to do that when I started joining the 1873. Then it for me started making sense in that regard. So what I'm grasping from you is really genuine. When you say you want to come back and you're a mother, so you're going to think differently from me. You want to come back. I cannot relate, but I can understand. Because I see my mom. She gets worried every time I move away from home because she wants to protect me all the time. So when you say you're a mother, you want your child to be okay and his grades or her grades to be on point, it pains me.
But if I can just interject for 1 second there,
A sensitive matter, but you are touching the emotional side of it. So I'm moved.
If I can interject just for a second, I'm sorry, but for my daughter, I also want her to feel the Africanness. I want her to feel that Ubuntu. I want her to feel that, in Africa, this is how it's supposed to be. This is where you come from. And in Africa, people love each other. And even if it's your neighbor, she's still your mom. When my little daughter, when she was baby, she used to go to the neighbor and eat. And we would call her, Anna, you coming? Oh, she's eating. And she can go to the neighbor and eat, and it's not, even if we don't have food, the neighbor, she can feed her. And they used to take care of her so good, like you said, like it takes a village, it takes a community, right? And I want you to feel that. I don't want my daughter to grow up here. Me, I grew up in Tanzania when I was a teenager, and I'm so grateful for growing up in Africa, Like here in Europe, you have people who have anorexia and bulimia and all these self-esteem issues
but they don't embrace that. Yeah.
I don't want my daughter to grow up like that. I want my daughter to grow up in Africa, and she's from Zimbabwe. She's mixed race. She's got curly hair. Do you know how difficult it is for me to find someone here who can do her hair? Me, I've tried to braid it. I've tried to braid it, but I can't. I fail. Every time I fail. But things like her hair, she should be growing up in Africa. Like, that's really how I feel.
Can I ask you something? Because you're raising an issue, are you trying to instill, together with your husband, are you trying to instill the African values, even though you are, in a Eurocentric environment? Are you trying to at least push that. Okay.
Very much, very much, very much. Now, luckily, I found a woman. She's from Senegal, and her
Nice.
daughter. They're the same age. They actually look like twins, to be honest.
Oh.
They're in the same class. So I'm lucky now that they found each other. Even the mother, she called me one day. She's like, "I'm so happy they found each other. They literally look like twins, eh? Like her best friend and her, they're the same class."
I like that.
Here's the picture. I don't know if you can see the picture. That's her best.
Oh my gosh, let me see. Oh my word. Ah, so this is the two of them.
This one is my.
This is so beautiful. What?
On
the one on the right or the one on the left?
Your.
Okay, my left is your right and your right is my left.
The short one is ours.
The short one, the one in
the short one is with the one with the thingy on the hair.
They both have the thingy. The one in the
they both have the thingy. Yeah. Oh, nice. Now I can see.
But you see how they look alike,
right? Oh my God, they look alike. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God, they look
I'm
alike.
very grateful for that, and I always send her to get her hair done and things like that. You know, for me that's very important. Like even the hair, because she goes to school and she's like, because you know here everyone's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and
May I ask something? Because you are raising, we've got a lady called Natasha. She's like in the broadcasting space, right? Because C2C is all about also connecting people in the media space, and we don't believe in qualifications. For us, just share your narrative, you know, let's build together. As long as you have the spirit to do it. Why don't you start a blog? I mean, it's very easy. You are a mom, you're frustrated, you start a blog and you raise those issues. You raise those, it's targeted, it's directed. And you ask, you consult from her to say, how can I start a blog that will have meaning, you know, so that in your own space, because there are a lot of mothers like you, but they don't know how to go about it. Then you're right to say, my daughter is mixed race, got Kelly her. I live in Europe. I'm from Africa, and this whole context of diaspora or me being a diasporian is I don't know, is evoking a lot of emotions. And then other mothers will come up and they'll tell you how to fix her hair, because my sister does hair. And my hair is very curly, by the way, because I'm half Mozambican in a sense. Tsonga. My dad is like.
Okay.
So I can relate. And I grow my afro, I cut it, I can do anything I want. Literally, legit. So you can do anything you want with your daughter's hair. It's just that you need to know.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, she's had issues at school. She's had issues at school with people touching her hair and she doesn't like it, and people asking her and people asking me, am I really her mother because I'm white and she's black? There's so many other issues involved. Like, but I mean, besides that, I know, like, as an African, your hair, as an African woman, hair is a big
it's your crown.
And
your crown.
Yeah, for her as well, she doesn't like it. Like, why are you asking me questions? And I also feel insulted. Like, why are you asking me, am I her mother? Yes, I'm her mother. She came from my womb. I birthed her. Why are you asking me? Am I her? Yeah, because she's brown. So there's a lot of those.
It's frustrating, yeah.
But when I was in Zimbabwe, nobody asked me those kinds of
Nobody
questions.
asked you anything because you are free.
Never. And here, we've had many issues, like with the school and people asking us questions like, are we really suitable parents? Like, just, I don't even want to go there, but it's insane.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I understand.
You have your community, that's enough. If
I understand.
you're not doing well with your child, they will say something. Now here they want to assume because I don't even want to go there, but no,
it's okay. I understand.
I do not. At the end of the day, all I can say is I do not want to raise my child in this country. I feel my daughter can have a better life in Africa.
In Africa.
Now the thing is that Zimbabwe right now is not really conducive. It's not conducive for me to get a job and make money.
Yeah.
It's not conducive. My husband now, his auntie has a school which is one of the top schools in the whole country, and yes, you can go there. It's a boarding school, and that's fine. But what am I going to do in Zimbabwe right now?
You feel like you're stuck. You're stuck between a hard place and a rock.
That's exactly what my husband said this morning. Because we're watching this clip where this guy was saying, like, okay, I'm in the country that I'm living and I'm comfortable, but I don't like it. I want to go back to Zimbabwe, but I can't. So that's exactly what my husband said just a couple of hours ago. This morning we were talking about it. It's funny you say that. And he said, yes, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. because we don't want to be here because we're not happy.
But
can
you
we
can't
go
afford to go where you want.
If we want to go back to Zimbabwe, that means he has to go by himself. And that means maybe I won't see my husband maybe for what, 2-3 years. And do I want that? No, I don't.
No.
If I have to do it, fine, I will do it if it has to be, because he's got inheritance, he's got land, he's got a mine. There's a future there for us. But the way this government is just messing around, it's just, I can't even find the word. And for the fact to say that Mnangagwa is saying there's no issue in this country. People are trying left, right, and center to do something to fix the country. And Mnangagwa just keeps saying like, no, there's no issue here, there's no issue here. And it's very upsetting for the president to not even acknowledge that people are upset. And that's what right now is I'm sorry to say, but it's pissing us off. It's really pissing us off. That the president cannot even acknowledge that the people are unhappy. The people don't like him. And every time the president has a chance to speak up, he says, no, there's no issue, economic or political or otherwise. I saw that on a headline only this morning. We follow the news every day. We're on Zimbabwe news, seeing what's happening in Zimbabwe, what's going on.
May I ask you something? Psychologically, I understand it's strenuous. How are you, as a family, trying to at least? I know that you can't unwind in such a situation, and it's tough. And again, we are fighting one another. We're talking about the human race. We're talking about Africa Unite. We're talking about all these things, but yet each and every African country is dealing with different things. Even with COVID-19, it exposed a lot with regards to Madagascar, and you know what I mean. Even South Africa, it's a lot. And again, you feel like you don't belong in Europe because you're African, or you want to be in Africa this side, you want to raise your family this side, but you can't go to Zim because of the situation. And now, here's another thing. There's Afrophobia, there's xenophobia. And again, that in itself contributes to this thing of, it's just a lot. It's a lot because,
I've also lived in many different African countries, so I do have a little bit of a different perspective. I've lived in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and things were not like that. Things are fine there, Zimbabwe is just on another level. I don't think any other country in the whole world is going through. And the fact that the president won't allow it to reach the international community, and that it's taking so much to get the international community to see no, Zimbabwe, there's something wrong there and it needs to be fixed. And the way Mnangagwa is just holding on to power, and it's like, let go, please. Do
you agree with the system of USA, like the Democrats and the Republicans? Do you feel like, how do you feel? Because with us it's a different case politically.
No, America for me, it's supposed to be one man, one vote, but it's not. Florida.
This side, it's different. It's a lot of political parties, and now they've introduced the government. South African government has introduced, if you want to be an independent candidate, and hence a lot of people are following, Herman Mashaba to see what's going to happen. And it's quite interesting politically because we are wondering, is AFF going to take over? No. ANC, the ruling party, people are tired, but yet, the elders say they fought for freedom. So it's a very sensitive, because it's a liberation party or movement. So it's very tricky. It's
tricky, but the ones like Mugabe right now, to be honest, things were better with Mugabe. And Mugabe had some legitimacy because he actually fought for his freedom. And they did a liberation struggle for real. For real.
They lived it, you say.
He just kind of landed. It wasn't really supposed to be him. It was kind of by default that he's there, and he shouldn't be there. So I think the liberation struggle a little bit of credit, to be honest.
We have John Smith. John Smith, good evening.
Yeah,
how are you, Mr. Mawere?
How are you? We have Mr. and Mrs. Chimedza there in Sweden. And what's your first name? What's your wife's first name?
John.
Sarah.
No, I mean
Sarah.
Lala.
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, okay. Sarah is speaking truth to power. She's saying things are in a mess in Zimbabwe. She shares the Zimbabwean heritage and African experience, but she says things are bad, and she's not alone. And where are you calling from, John?
I'm in United Kingdom.
Okay, so the idea here is to convert, like what we have with Chimeza and his wife, not just to talk about how things are bad. Sometimes ignorance is the biggest disease. They say ignorance and prejudice are friends. When people know better, they also act better. There's a lot of illiteracy around citizenship, nationality, identity, and how best do we address that as a community, not as individuals?
Okay. My guess is the decadence goes a very, very long time. You see, ours is of tribalism, nepotism, cronism, you name it. You yourself, Mawere, I've been following your story, how you lost your companies and so on. But I am talking now as a person that lost relatives on Kukurawundi and other, matters affecting our country. I've never worked in Zimbabwe since I finished my O levels. But again, on the other hand, I thank you for this platform because, for the first time, we have to be very honest about each other and that are we really a community in Zimbabwe? And what do we mean by a community as well? And
But
are we equal?
how long have you been in the UK?
Well, I've been in the UK for the past 25 years.
Okay, so
I'm a British citizen now.
All right, congratulations. We need more of you who are in the UK. And it's important that we know when we are homeless, we can come and sleep at your house without paying any money for the room night. But
no problem.
When you look at the community that we have with this program, is powered by C2C, its connections to communities. Do you agree that sometimes when we are in the social media in this digital age, our voices are not coherent? Each one is setting up shop and just making noise like dogs barking.
I think it's actually a good thing for the dogs to bark sometimes because they bring that attention, I follow.
Dog do you hear? Imagine all the dogs are barking. Well, how would you know which one to talk to?
Well, as you engage and listen and look, because there are so many factors there. Our brain boxes are quiet. Those people that are said to be having big brains, they're quiet. So what happens when they're quiet?
No, I'm saying if imagine soccer, the game, had no rules, had no order, no structure. Imagine religion itself. The Roman Catholic Church had 20 popes. What would happen?
I mean, in reference to what we're really talking about, I think it's helpful. This is what shows people that people have got passion when it comes to their country, and then they want to do better. They want to go back maybe, and so on. So, people talk from outside because that's the only platform. I know that people will say, "Oh, you are talking when you are far and all that," and it's actually good in my humble view that people have to talk, express their opinion in this digital time that you are talking about. So it is upon those that sets such programs and you to peddle it more and hear what the people are actually saying. And I think one of the common things that we can agree with that other callers have been saying is that some, they would want to go home, some are tired. Like my sister has been saying, who's in Sweden now, that she misses that life. So people have been, muzzled for a very long time, too scared to talk. And this is how good it gets when anybody else expresses their voice on the social media. It gets a long way.
No, I'm just saying is, do you agree that when people organize their thoughts, create their own voices, that organized people, the only power they have is that organization?
And also to apply some action.
No,
if
I'm saying
possible.
it must be organized. Just the fact that we are together and we agree on who is to speak on behalf of us, that animals don't have that order, they don't have structure. Do you agree, Chimeza?
I mean, there is hierarchy in the animal kingdom. It's if you want to call it by instinct, perhaps, but there is hierarchy within the animal kingdom. There is. There is the alpha male within certain animals, and within certain animals, it's matriarchy. It's the alpha female that leads. As to say, when you're looking perhaps with elephants, it's not the bulls that lead the way, but the mothers instead. And when you're looking at apes and chimpanzees, it's the alpha males that lead the group, the clan, so to speak. So there is hierarchy, there is structure within in any group, naturally. I think that's the way it is. But I think human beings, we have the choice perhaps to choose what type of organization that we want to operate under. As to say, animals don't. They are locked in to their nature. And so it is. If you see one lion, you've seen all of them.
I'm saying is that we have the power to reason.
Yes.
And the second thing is the power of free will.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we have Wellington who is here, and I don't know whether, John, you know something about the C2C initiative.
Excuse me, stop.
No, I have not heard of it.
Yeah, we are saying that let's convert our connections to communities so that we can get to know each other, create our own directories. If I'm looking for a doctor in Zimbabwe, I'm looking for a doctor in the UK, I'm looking for something in the UK, I know who to contact.
Yes, I think that is important as well.
So that's the whole essence of it. And Wellington is there, but I'm sure there is a problem with the network in Zimbabwe. So we said it must be different from
For now,
Zimbabwe.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So there are two people, now three, because Sarah and Chimeza. Sarah and Chimeza are there, and now it's three, so that we build communities day by day rather than talk about things we can't change. Let's talk about the things that are within our control.
I liked the analogy that you used with regards to the animal kingdom. You reminded me of the book, The Animal Farm, that all animals are equal, but some more equal than others. And when you're touching on matriarchy, patriarchy, it also applies with regards to how different countries run. I remember one discussion we had on the continental breakfast before. We spoke of democracy as well as because there's two, like, not necessarily two ruling parties at once, but there's two formulas or ways that they use in the UK, and which one reigns supreme and which one should people call, and abide to. So for me, it when we connected generally, even with households and how, certain things are handled at home, it does play a critical role. And when you internalize it and you put it in your story as a person, and you have to unlearn perhaps how certain things happened previously. Now you have to now you have to run your household. How do you run your household? What rules there? So in as much as a lot happens, for me at least, I always like to bring it back to me and say, how do I understand this? Let me put it in layman's term. What is going on? And that is why it's very easy for a political topic, perhaps, as some people may call it. It's very easy to find someone who will touch you. And in this case, your wife touched me. Someone who will just touch you by mere sharing their story without even trying to sound a particular way. And so it's there, Mr. M. It's there.
And as Elon Gindi says, is there a website set up already for this C2C?
Hey, Elon Gindi.
Good idea. We want you to be in the website. And you
Exactly.
how do I do it? So, Sarah, would you want to be in our C2C magazine? Talking about at midnight, who is black? At midnight, who is black?
Everybody.
Everybody. So,
Yeah.
So what when you talk to people and say, but what is it? There's no mixed blood. There's no mixed person. We are all human beings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even a blind person is still a human being.
No question. Obvious.
Yeah. So
I'm a little bit because this for me is new. What are you trying to accomplish with the C2C? It's community for
ourselves. That so assume tomorrow one of you is dead and you are isolated. How do you connect with people? Like now, imagine we were abusing your husband every night.
Well, I have his auntie's phone number, so all I have to do is call his auntie, eh?
No. I'm saying is we have now that we know you, it means we know that and next time we have your kid, we have kids that don't know each other. And if connected people go further than individuals.
So you just mean to connect people as a community, but you don't do you have any kind of vision or?
No, we are saying that the people have visions, not the bridge. You need to use this is just a bridge to knowing people, but you have to organize yourselves into communities. If I'm an IT person, then I form my C2C IT so that we change the energy level from Zimbabwe, things that we can change. But we can also raise funds for Zimbabwe, raise funds for the media to write stories that we can listen to. Right now, there are many people.
To be honest, right, when this thing happened with the MDC, with those three ladies the first instance when those three ladies from the MDC, when they got abducted and abused, I actually sent the link to about 5 news stations in Sweden. Not one of them responded. I wrote them.
You're saying none responded.
They didn't. I'm saying when the news of those 3 MDC ladies, when they first came out and said that they'd been abused and raped, right?
Yeah.
There was a little YouTube clip that was made by SABC. It was about a 5-minute interview when the lady was explaining everything that happened to them, right? And I'm saying I forwarded that YouTube clip to 5 news stations here in Sweden, the biggest news stations and the newspaper. And I wrote to them, pay attention what's going on in Zimbabwe. Please broadcast this and send this message to anybody you know. Unfortunately, I got no response from any of them.
But why would you expect response? Because Zimbabwe is
against human rights. Human rights is universal. It doesn't matter where you come from. I used to work for the United Nations. I have worked for the United Nations Refugees Council, UNHCR. I worked for them.
No,
So
but
I have ground knowledge. I have worked for the United Nations. So I'm in that frame of mind.
No, unless you are organized, your voice doesn't count.
Yeah, but still, you know, if it was me working at a news station and I saw someone sent this to me, I would put it out there. Personally, I would.
No, but that's you. That's why you don't have a station.
And that's what makes me cry about people in this world, that they see something that's wrong and they don't do anything about it. And it makes me cry.
That's why you need connections, you need networks.
Yeah.
So you have just justified why we need to be more organized to have a voice.
True.
So that is the Wellington is here with us. He convinced me to be here, so you can speak here.
No problem. I think we can have a discussion later on. I'd already started talking to Freeborn. I think we had a nice discussion already, and then I just thought he should come through after sharing his experience. And C2C is about sharing experiences, really, and making sure that beyond just being connected on social media platforms or even physically, we should become part of a broader community that can then be our launchpad to extract value out of each other and build community power, which can help us. So yeah, I put in my details. I think I'll try to post on Facebook as well, my phone number and email address. If you want more information, then we can then help each other and then explain how this works. It's for all our benefit.
Okay, Chumeta, do you have any question on that? On the idea of building bridges, not walls?
No, not at all. I mean, for me, I already understand how networking is crucial in any endeavor you want to partake in. Whether you want to do your homework, you get along with people, you help each other, you do your homework. You want to read certain books, perhaps you don't have time to read the whole book, so you read half of it, your friend reads the other half. you know? And you give each other the summary, it's done. So that's how I go through school. Say I don't have to read the entire textbook myself, no, I've got friends, so it's a book club. So yeah, networking for me has always been integral in any endeavor that you do. So yeah,
that's why your daughter has got now a network.
Yeah. I think it's also about raising awareness, to be honest,
Okay, we have another representative of C2C in the UK.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the welcome.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome, Mumbai.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So we wanted to change the gender balance. So we are almost there, because there were too many men talking about women. So there's somebody with a phone. Okay, so, and Sarah, any question?
No, I'm listening for now. Thanks. I'm listening.
All right. And there is a cure for corona in South Africa. Have you ever heard of that?
Who's saying?
Madagascar.
There's a cure for COVID in Africa.
Madagascar.
No, South Africa. So the person who is
It's the same. I think it's this. Like, remember, what do we call it? Athamazia or whatever. We call it Mhlonyane. And there's still, because the World Health Organization, the debate with it not being given the green light and stuff, but it's something that has always been used by our great grandparents and all of that. So there's that debate of people saying, but we've been okay, we've been using this, and now you're telling us that there's no cure, and Russia has a vaccine. So what is going on? Hence, Madagascar decided to take themselves out of the World Health Organization, countries. So there's just that debate, and I guess it's everyone for himself or herself.
Yeah. So I think there is somebody with a cure who was going to come on air just to somebody to testify that they were positive and now they're negative.
One thing. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Madagascar president, he made a speech that they had some local herbs that they've been using, and it takes away COVID-19, any kind of symptoms, any kind of, like, it'll cure you pretty much. But the thing is, he was so disrespected by the international community, as in, who are you to be saying that you've got some herbal medicine? What is this witch doctor voodoo stuff? So he was so disrespected that they just went on the quiet, and he decided, like, okay, fine, if you're gonna disrespect me, then let me just keep it to myself. So Madagascar has the cure, but because everyone shut him down, he's not going to release it. But you know how Africans are, they have their traditional herbs, and I'm not surprised. I'm sure South Africa's got it. I'm sure almost every country in Africa has got the same herb. But the fact that he was shut down so badly by everybody in the world, it was like, okay, fine, well, okay, if you don't want it, then okay, fine. So that's my stance on that. But yeah, that's
so we have the person with the
I watched his speech, and I also saw how he was treated afterwards, and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because you think you're African, and then because some guy in America, Mr. Trump, there saying like, oh, who are you? You're just an African voodoo doctor. No, these Africans have been doing this for thousands of years. They know what they're doing. And if some guy from Madagascar said he's got some herb in his garden that works, then yeah, I would listen to him more than I would listen to some doctor in some hospital in America. So that's all I want to say about that. Yeah.
So we have the person who has got a cure. He was going to come in and talk to the effectiveness of that. So Mbai was going to introduce the person, but I think they have a technical connection problem. So so thank you very much for the time, and hopefully we can then connect. We have Chimeda's number, and then we'll contact you. And Wellington, any final remarks?
Yes, I would like to thank everyone who joined the show. I think it was a useful show. It's very important that we realize that the Zimbabwean diaspora or any diaspora is important. Just because one is moved countries does not necessarily mean that they are not interested in the events that are going on in the country. I'm sure most people, especially those who moved out because of push factors, are always either watching to see that things improve, so that they can always go back home. So yes, thank you so much for the spirit. I like the Swedish couple there.
Yeah, I like the Swedish couple too. I like the Swedish couple too. Thank you, Wellington. Thank you, Wellington. Thank you, Wellington, for your professionalism. Like, Wellington, guys, listen. Like, his script game is on point. Everything that you do with regards to moderating and with regards to administration is really on point. And I pray that this relationship that we have at the C2C really continues. Mr. Mauro, I'm going to bounce out now.
Okay, no problem.
And we are rehearsing with the band. I have a DVD recording coming up.
Okay.
So we're going to come through to, when we come that side, Mantha, and in Gauteng and Northwest, we're going to pass by. So I'm coming through with the band. And maybe we can perform something for you. And yeah.
All right. That's great. No, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a great one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And then, Mbai, are they still coming?
Yes, they are. You're trying to connect. Maybe just check and see if we have newcomers in there.
Not
I've
yet.
spoken to. He is called Kulubuse Zuma. And you know, like that flyer that we were given is there. And that's the guy, the one with the number. So he is coming in, he's actually trying to connect. I've given him.
Do you know who he is?
He is, according to that flyer that Mr. Tami gave us, one of the people who were given the medication who drank it and he healed. So he is one of those people.
You know his last name?
He is Zuma.
He's the nephew to the former president Zuma. He's a well-known businessman.
He is a businessman as well. He's called Kunubuse Zuma. So he's there with his son trying to connect. Let me see.
He's a well-known figure.
Yes.
Okay, so we have him. He's trying to connect now because he told me, like, to say, you know what, Vimbai, I know that I was healed. I drank it and I was healed. And I said, I don't want you to tell me. I want you to come on this live and say it yourself, so that we share the way that there is medication in South Africa. So like they are trying to connect. Let me just
just check.
Yeah, so don't mind me coming in and out. It's just trying to see if they are winning.
All right, no, that's fine. Just I choose them to go on the mic.
Yeah.
All right.
So let the conversation continue.
All right, so we can have Mr. Chimeza. He is the. So what do you guys do? Sarah, what is your profession, Sarah?
I work in healthcare
What?
with the elderly with dementia.
Oh, dementia. All right.
Yeah.
So.
But
so okay, and
I've been sick for most of this year, but I've now recovered, so I'm going back to work now.
So, and Chimeza, you say you're also going to school?
Oh, not anymore. I finished SFE here because I had to learn the language here. So that was part of the education I was doing. I'm self-taught in most things. After I did my Cisco systems in the United Kingdom networking, I went and volunteered at the CSV Media Center in the United Kingdom. That's where I learned editing, video and audio, sound production. Like I can work in a studio. I know where all the cables go, you know, like PA systems. I know how to set those up. I worked in construction because I didn't find, you know, work in IT. So I ended up working 7 years in construction. I became very invaluable to my boss because I became what they call jack of all trades and master of none. So I can use any power tool on this planet.
This guy can lay floors. He's very good at laying floors, walls, painting, all that. If you need to fix a house, call him, man.
Oh, that's good. So
okay, hello. Excuse me. They're saying they are not managing to do the connection. So maybe we can try to do, like, they go on WhatsApp, call with me on another phone, and then see if we can do it that way.
Then I'll pick up here.
Yeah. All right. So like, how do I do it now?
No, you can leave the meeting and then you can then put him on the phone.
Okay. Just
on WhatsApp.
Yeah, let me get the other phone somewhere in this house. All right, then. So we'll do it that way. That I connect on the other phone. Then I can have him on WhatsApp. And then at least on WhatsApp, you can be able to, everybody can be able to see.
Yeah.
On bona phone him. What did I do with that? All right, then. Anyway. Didn't find it, so we just have to use the computer. Sorry, you know, old age is catching up with me.
All right.
Ow. Where is my bag? Where is my bag? Let me see where I can.
Tell him to stop and talk to me. Tell him to stop and talk to me.
Then get the phone, get the.
I'll talk to him when he gets home.
It's all right. I'll be back upstairs in a minute. Taurasian, continue talking. Or
Right. Hello. Yeah. So for the videos, how best do you think? I know Mkoma Masimba was talking to you about you assisting him on the videos.
Yeah, he just needed 2 clips put together. He didn't tell me exactly which part on the first instance, but it was like the conversation that Sisi Tilda had with Sekuru Banda. So I put a clip of that, and then I also clipped the conversation you had na Sisi Tilda. So those 2, just about 10 minutes long. From
what we would want, the membership fee is $30 per annum for the C2C,
Right.
and what we are intending to do is to have people like you build the content
Right.
virtually, so that we can then sell it, because there is a problem with shared understanding. Because there are many people who are blaming the president for things that have nothing to do with the president. And you find that what Sarah was saying, Mnangagwa, but if I go to Sweden, I don't even need to know who the prime minister is, because I expect the local government to work.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, now I am online. I'm able to hear Mr. Makulubu say Zuma speaking, and I have him here on WhatsApp. Can you see me? Just sorry.
Okay.
Let's see. How do I best do that now? So you cannot see me, can you?
No, we can't see him, but you can talk on the speakerphone.
Okay. All right, Mr. Zuma, we are online. We are on radio 1873 FM, and I have quite a number of people watching us. And it's lovely to see them and that they hear you themselves. So may you tell us your story.
Okay, tell me when you want me.
Now. Like now.
Okay, I start now.
Yes.
Okay, my story is very, very simple.
Yeah.
I contracted COVID-19.
Yeah.
Around about the 10th, 8 or 9 of June.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to Mr.
Yeah.
But he had me coughing.
Sorry, hold on. Can you hear anything?
Yeah, we can hear now.
All right then.
Yeah.
Continue talking. Say, let me see if I can get speakers to boost this, but continue talking. They're listening.
Okay. And then around about the 8, 9, 10 June, Mr. Mchali, I was talking to him about other things regarding business, and he had me coughing all the time. I would cough, and he said, Kula, please come to Johannesburg. I have been able to help 2 patients suffering from COVID-19.
Okay.
I went to Joburg, and then I was with my wife because of suffering. My wife had some difficulties in breathing.
Yeah.
So when we arrived in Joburg, Mr. Mchali never even saw us. He couriered the product to us.
Yeah.
This product is called Kahalela oil.
Yeah.
And then I said to my wife, this person has got so much disrespect. We've traveled, doesn't even want to see us.
Yeah.
It's all to us. How can this thing help us? But anyway, we said, okay, we came for this oil to Johannesburg. Let's use it. So we took 10 drops of this oil each, me and my wife. In the morning, we never even realized it. When the breakfast was coming in the hotel where we're in, I said to my wife, "Are you okay?" She said, "I'm extremely fine." I said, "You know what? I even forgot that I came here suffering from anything."
Mm-hmm.
I said to my wife, "Okay, let's order bottles or to me from Mr. Mtali so that we can administer to the people that we know." And then we took 10 bottles.
Hello?
Can you hear me, my brother?
Now we can hear you.
All right, okay. And then we administered this immune booster to 10 patients.
Yeah.
They all got fine.
So, Mr. Zuma, are you saying you are now negative?
Mr.
Hello?
The question is, are you negative? Mr. Mawere asked.
Okay, I don't know whether I ever was positive or negative. I had symptoms only.
Oh, you had symptoms. Okay, but now it's gone.
No. The symptoms were gone around the 15th of June.
All right.
Now, I decided, I said, "Mr. Mtali, what are these drops? What are you doing with them?" And he told me that he's administering them to the cancer patients, especially white people with cancer.
Yeah.
I said to him, I'm going to give it to my immediate family, extended family, and the people that I know. I did that. He gave me 50 bottles.
Okay.
And then I did it, and everyone was calling me to say that, hey, they are feeling well, they are fine, this, that. Then I said, okay, Mr. Mtali, please, I'm coming to you the next day. We must make a deal. I must be part of your production, and I need to be 100% solely distributing agent of this product. At that time, I had half belief in the product. And then after, I distributed the product to almost 50 people. All of them gave me the same results. Thank you, Mr. Zuma. Thank you, Mr. Zuma. Thank you, Mr. Zuma. That's it. So me, I'm not a medical person. I am an entrepreneur. I only sell results. I don't sell the product.
Okay. No, thank you,
So
Mr.
I ordered from him. I ordered from him 1,000 bottles.
Yeah.
And then I made sure that it's properly distributed to the people that has got COVID. All of them, I can send you testimonies. Most of them send me testimonies to say that I'm fine. That is how I became involved in the Kalela oil business.
Oh, perfect. So you are a distributor right now.
I've got shares in the production plant. At the same time, I'm a 100% distributor for South Africa and internationally.
And
but
you are also
all I can tell you is one thing.
We have some people in Sweden.
Kalela oil, it is not a cure. Kalela oil, the only thing that it does, it modulates your immune system and it prevents any virus from entering your cell. So that's why we call it an immune booster.
So it's an immune booster.
Once you are boosted with it, you will never ever suffer from COVID. Never.
Okay. So Wimbai, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. And he can hear you too.
I think Tammy said they are also selling to Sweden. Is that correct?
Tammy, like you said, you're selling to Sweden. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Yes, it's correct.
Yeah, we have people who live in Sweden, and they may also want to make some money. Are you hungry, Kimeza, to make some money?
No. Make this point very, very clear. Eddie's point is not about making money. Eddie's point is about boosting our population's immune system. Each and every individual needs to boost his immune system so that he can be able to fight whatever kind of a virus that enters his system, whether it's cancer, HIV, or whatever, asthma, COVID, it does not matter. Our oil boosts the immune system to be able to fight any kind of a virus. So the COVID just becomes something very, 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 very minute in our menu. Very little. It's nothing actually. But we stand by saying that it's an immune booster. It's not a cure, but it boosts your immune system in such a way that it's able to withstand any virus.
All right.
Yeah.
There was a question that suppose we have two people in the studio now from Sweden who might be interested in becoming distributors. How would that work?
I will courier it to them. They will pay me 50% on whatever stock they want to take, and they will pay me 40% after they sell. So I will give them 10% of the whole value of the consignment.
Did you hear that, Mr. Mawere and crew? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear towards the end. I don't know that is listening. Are you hearing what is being said?
Yes. He said that if anyone wants to join in as a distributor, he would want 50% of 50% of the total, right? For the consignment. Yeah. And then when does the 40% come in? Is after the sale?
After the sale.
Yeah, 40% after the sale. So that the new distributor will remain with 10%.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess the best way is to raise awareness of the product in Europe as an immune boosters and all over the world. Then Mr. Zuma can help us by being able to be the face and voice of it, because he's got personal experience and the experiences of others.
Okay.
Anytime, my brother. Anytime I will do this.
Anytime you will do this to become the face and the voice.
Anytime, my brother.
Yeah. Anytime. So, my brother, good to hear your voice.
You know, my problem is that I don't secure our line is.
Yeah.
I can tell you more about the product.
No, yeah, we can do that offline, but it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah. Let me tell you, my brother. Out of I think now in South Africa, last week, I distributed my product to 4,000 people, and now the other 5,000 stock is almost finished. So it means that it's more than 8,000 people that have used my products. All of them, without fail, they are very, very, very happy.
Yeah, no.
Understanding the politics of medication and the understanding the ideology of the vaccine, everyone is searching for the vaccine because they think they'll make more money. I prefer that we call our product not the COVID-19 cure. I prefer that we call it an immune booster, super immune booster.
Yeah,
because that will take us to a lot of patients that are suffering without being under the scrutiny of any medical or how do you call it? They call it medical report or medical research or clinical reports or clinical research. So let's avoid that step by calling it, and not calling it a cure. Let's just call it an immune booster, which is allowable to every nation. And the other good thing is that our plant-based, there is no chemical.
Mm-hmm. That's good news.
It's just an extraction of oils from plants. That's it.
Yeah, no, I think we got the starting point. I think Wimbai, that's the bridge. Mr. Zuma is the bridge, and let's work with him to raise awareness about the immune side, because it affects not just COVID or corona. It's beyond that, the diabetes and cancer and many other ailments. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still there. Is reconnecting.
The product was developed 3 years ago before the pandemic.
So the product was developed 3 years ago before the pandemic.
Yeah, so it
just featured 100%. It featured 100% in terms of its qualities and in terms of its results.
Yeah, I also have the same product. So
please never ever call it COVID cure. Just call it immune booster. It's enough.
Okay. So immune booster.
Super immune booster.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's really good.
No, thank you very much for your time. And, let's keep on the dialogue.
We don't want to attract the world powers and this and that, but the only thing that we need to do is to reach people that are suffering from. And my brother, just do me one favor. Wherever you are, identify 20, 30 people that are suffering. Give them our immune booster, and you'll see the results. And I know you will testify.
No, I think we are going to do that. We are going to follow through and get the action. There are many people suffering and needless.
Korea, the products are in Korea. So my sister will help me in doing that.
Yeah, definitely, because I am in the UK and Mr. Mama is in South Africa now. And we've got 2 other people in. We've got quite a big group. So I'm just saying those in the studio now in this conversation, we are quite spread over different countries. That was what I was just saying.
My dear, wherever you want to Korea it, I will Korea it from South Africa. DHL knows about our product and they know that it's safe, it's consumable.
Yeah.
Even a baby can consume our product.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides human beings, we even heal the animals.
Really?
Yep.
So which animals have taken that?
Testimonies.
Okay.
Exactly. We do.
That's interesting.
Just give me the address where you want me to Korea. I'll Korea and find the people that are suffering from COVID, because COVID is a pandemic that we live, all of us we live in. But you can see me, I'm big. I've got sugar diabetes, I've got a high blood pressure, but I'm not scared of COVID. I can never be scared of COVID.
Yeah.
Because of Kalela oil.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay, I think that's somebody saying what is an immune booster. It means if you have immune deficiency, you need a booster.
No. Let me correct you, my brother. Immune booster, we only use the word immune booster for the market.
Yeah.
Because everyone is associated with immune booster, but what Galela does is not an immune booster, it's an immune modulator.
All right.
It balances the way our body soldiers need to fight.
Okay.
Let me tell you one thing. I need to be very clear about this so that you can understand. World Health Organization is telling us that people with comorbidities, people who are suffering from other illnesses, will die quickly from COVID.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. But do you know what happens? Let me just take my time. 1 minute.
Okay.
The brain, our brain. I'm gonna explain it in a layman's term, medical term. When our brain recognizes a new enemy in our body, a new enemy that it does not have a record of, it tends to, and it prefers to attack that enemy. So it leaves the other diseases that are attacking it because it wants to attack that all the diabetes, blood pressure, HIV, and the immune system focuses on that new enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And our body tends to send many soldiers more than they are needed to attack that enemy. By the time they do that, they leave the space for the other illnesses to prevail because they tend to focus on that enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Galela oil modulates that, it balances. There can never be enemy that will be attacked, leaving another place to be attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Understand me?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That is why a lot of people die from comorbidities, from other diseases, rather than they are attacked by the COVID.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the Galela oil, it modulates, it balances everything.
Yeah.
And it attacks, gives so many soldiers to attack that enemy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That is why everyone that takes Galela oil, even if it's not a cure, everyone that takes Galela oil will see the results the next day.
All right. That's
because
quick.
of the immune modulation that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It sends the communication to the brain many times. It's like moving your immune system from 1G to 5G.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
All right.
So I think thank you because we can see that we need you because we may err unknowingly, and you need to keep on shaping the language.
Let me tell you, my brother, not only that you if he wants to win the election in America, he needs to call me on my number 065 is like +27 in South Africa, +2765222222. I will solve this problem.
Okay, I hope you get this opposite.
I will tell Ango Trump to tweet that, and you see what happens.
Any leader right now needs me.
Yeah.
He certainly don't know what they need, but they need me.
Okay, good. All right then. So can we do it this way? That we will continue talking with you, and then we'll see how we organize this, and then we take it from there. Is that okay? On both sides?
Yeah, that's fine on our side.
All right then. So I'll be coming back to the conversation. So let me finish off with with Mr. Zuma. All right.
All right, that's fine. Okay, Chimeza, thank you very much. And you had the news about the immune booster or modulator, and that was Mr. Kulubus Zuma in Durban. He's an entrepreneur, he's a businessman. If you need more information on him, you can Google. There's a lot that has been said about him, and he's a celebrity in South Africa.
Quite a number of people. We already have quite a number of them. So some of them.
No, I can believe in what he's saying, right? I study under Dr. Shiva Durai. When I say I'm not in school, there's a reason why, because it's not orthodox school where you're going to university. Because nowadays in this international, in this web space, you can teach yourselves a lot of things. But Dr. Shiva Durai is an MIT student. He's the guy who actually invented email. He wrote the code for it, won the Nobel for it. Now he's into systems health. And it's through him and your body, your system, that you find your own homeostasis. He's actually good software if you were to go and look it up online, your body, your system. And he's got a website, Dr. Shiva Durai. Now, he is a proponent for vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A. He is a proponent for that. I actually signed one of his petitions, hashtag Fire Fauci, because he thought that Dr. Fauci was giving the wrong information to the president. Now he's running for Senate in Massachusetts, and we managed to get him on the ballot. And he is one of the advocates for homeopathy rather than just pumping your body with chemicals. Now, when he describes to you the functions of vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin A, and what they do, it's similar to what my friend here is talking about, is to say it modulates the immune system. That's what high dosage vitamin C does. Now, for vitamin D, it's easy. You need to be in the sun for that. And for vitamin A, it's a lot of green vegetables. Now, for A, it's a scenario of like
vitamin C right there.
High dosage vitamin C,
Vitamin D.
high dosage vitamin D.
We got them all.
And this is a rare earth, great minerals. This has got all the minerals that you find on the planet: potassium, gold, nickel, everything is in this one here. It's the best. It actually tastes like mud, this one here.
Yeah.
It's very earthy. So yeah, nutrition is a big deal when it comes to boosting the immune system. And malnutrition is one of the major causes of most diseases when you listen to Dr. Shiva Durai. And he takes a systems approach to health rather than looking at it from just one thing. So I do see the value in what my friend here from South Africa was saying, Mr. Zuma. And I believe in what he's saying, especially if these are natural plant extracts high in certain minerals. They do wonders to the immune system.
Okay, no, I think thank you very much for that. That's part of the connection, that part of the community we're trying to build. Those who want to trade, try this new this modulator or this booster, then we can always network. That's how we knew Vimbai in the UK. You guys are in Sweden. They are already selling to Sweden some of their products. So that's where things stand.
I'm just curious, where is he selling it in Sweden? I'm just curious.
Stockholm, I think.
Huh?
Stockholm.
Oh, like what? Is he selling it to a pharmacy or?
No, they're selling through distributors. I think there are people who buy then sell through their own distribution channels.
Oh, like word of mouth then, or?
I think there are people who take bulk and then they distribute to smaller users.
Because okay.
Yeah. But we can get more details from them who they are using in their channels. Yeah. So otherwise, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we can continue to interact and collaborate.
Oh yes, and just to summarize, diaspora.
Okay.
Yes, you may please just summarize for us.
So for the diaspora, you are not far. Technology has connected us. And when we say 1873, you know what 1873 stands for?
Was it the Asian Revolution?
No. 1 plus 8.
9.
7 plus 3.
10.
10 minus 9.
1.
It stands for the power of one.
Uh-huh.
An individual is indivisible.
Uh-huh.
You are one. Whether you are black, white, pink, you are one. You are a human being. You are complete as a person. So we celebrate the completeness of an individual.
That's beautiful.
So that's where it is. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What you're doing is beautiful, eh?
No, thank you. We need more people like you to give life to it, so that diversity is our strength. When we are together, we are stronger.
Always.
And when you say something about Zimbabwe, it comes from a different voice than our tired voices. So it means it's refreshing to hear your voice. So please keep speaking truth to power. Never be afraid to speak your mind, because there are people who are too afraid to say anything.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, because they'll get arrested, or they'll disappear, or they'll get poisoned. There's a reason why they're afraid to speak up. But someone like me, I'm not really fearful of those things, but there are repercussions for some people who speak, you know?
But we need to give them the voice that they can't have, because we already know that there is a problem.
Yeah.
So that our voices can then be the power that changes the human spirit.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.